Oh, so you really do watch on your phone. How can you see anything? It's so dark. Shh. Oh, sorry, I'm ruining the podcast magic. Never mind.
Oh, we have a amphitheater in our home, there in our home base, where we all just watch together.
You know, it depends.
That's where we're all sitting right now.
Sometimes I watch on the phone.
You've got like a reclining Buddha thing going on, Jared. What this is?
They repossessed his chair.
Here,
Yeah, this is interesting.
It is a reclining Buddha.
You seem extremely comfortable.
Yeah.
A little too comfortable. Like Burt Reynolds and Playgirl comfortable.
Oh, no.
Who is that guy?
Where's the staple?
Where was the laugh comic? Do you remember the laugh comic who had a brown bag over his head and a
The
brown
Unknown
bag?
Comic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know
Comic.
that blew my mind?
Shouldn't you be watching the minute, Jerry?
Yes.
Are you ready to go?
All right. Yes.
Indiana Jones, Indiana Jones, Indiana It's a podcast about Indiana Jones. Every movie, 1 minute at a time. Indiana Jones, Minute.
Welcome back to the Indiana Jones Minute. This is the podcast where we get the spins from watching the movie Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull 1 minute at a time. I'm Tom Taylor.
Welcome back, Ox.
I'm Gerald Christopher. That was the only line, Pete. And the whole minute. And I was going to do
I blew it too. I blew it. I didn't get my voice cracked. I didn't get the Tom Taylor.
No, that was charming.
Yeah,
the golden pipes. Yeah.
I'm the intern, Gerald Christopher Marcus Porter.
And I'm Blair, also known as Orange B. Cooper on Patreon.
Hey!
Hey, welcome!
Super
We have to
excited
get used to
here,
calling you Blair. Oh, we're very excited to have you here.
Wait a minute. Do we call you? I don't know. I think it's Orange B. Cooper. Which do you prefer?
Either is really fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm excited about. I'm glad to know. We know. I'll say Orange B. Cooper is the fourth of our line of patrons who've been invited on the show, who are supporting us over on Patreon at patreon.com/Indiana Jones Minute. So we have invited her on the show, and we didn't know anything about Orange B. Cooper. We just knew the cool name Orange B. Cooper, and it turns out, Blair, that Orange B. Cooper is your cat.
Yes.
And that your cat is the actual patron.
Airplane hijacking multimillionaire cat.
Yep.
All sorts of mysteries are being solved tonight. We know how D.B. Cooper got away. He's a cat. He landed on his feet no matter what.
Oh, yeah.
Just rolled up in Dallas, Texas. So
That's beautiful. Well, thank you so much for being here. This is awesome.
yeah, thank you.
We hope you'll have fun. Talking about minute 108. And this is the one that basically begins and ends with everyone freaking out because the room is spinning around in weird ways. And in the middle there, you have Mac trying to make a run for it, but then getting sidetracked and stealing a necklace.
So what is everybody's HGTV show? What's your favorite HGTV show?
God, well, Heather worked on, what was it? Was it Design on a Dime?
Yeah.
Yeah, was it? Or I can't. Extreme Home Makeover, Design on a Dime.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, I could go figure out.
I like Dusty Cobwebbed Storerooms of the Ages, that show.
Yeah.
That's the one where Mac just runs. They give you a timer, right? And you just run through and you just grab whatever you can and stuff your pockets full of loot.
Super museum sweep.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Beautiful.
Well, the reason I'm asking is this: I'm trying to figure out what is happening here, because it seems like the Ooga must have carried the skeletons into this room, and kind of like my favorite HGTV show, White Room Challenge. I feel like they built a set around the skeletons.
Oh wow! Oh, so you think that wow? Have we said this before? I thought
Well, we found out last minute that the Ooga built this.
Yeah, but I thought they built it for 12 living aliens who were in there, sitting in their chairs, being bored.
But if they built it, I feel like the aliens haven't seen it until now, and I feel like they're sort of like, you know what, list it this side, because they immediately destroy it. It's just immediately like, nope.
that's funny. Oh, so they're just becoming conscious now and seeing where they've been sitting for hundreds of years.
This is how you spend the renovation budget.
I taught you how to use water, and this is how you repay us.
Yeah. You got to carry it in by hand in a bowl. Forget
Taught you
it.
how to use water.
Or some other ancient aliens nonsense. But
You call this a conversation pit? Forget it. This is awful.
Well, one thing I noticed is that in this minute we have the opposite of the Chachapoyan temple. We have, the head is returned to the temple, right?
Oh,
and
nice, yeah.
then the temple collapses.
After spilling a lot of sand.
After
the
spilling,
beginning,
yes.
at the
So
beginning
it's
of the
and I
temple.
wonder if they did that on purpose. There's a returno, and there's a head brought back, and then the temple collapses.
I feel like that is way too clever to give credit to this movie for. I hate to say that.
Yeah,
but-
that's probably.
I feel like it should have rebuilt itself too if we were going. If it were
Right, yeah,
poetry.
yeah. It should have been rubble, and then it, like, through magic, it gets all built up.
Although
magically.
one of my favorite books. There's a mathematician down in San Jose named Rudy Rucker, and he wrote a book called The Fourth Dimension, and it was sort of like he was trying to describe how you visualize more than three dimensions. And one of the things he talks about is, you can think about a line or like a two-dimensional space, and if you're on a flat surface and a three-dimensional body comes through it, it would look like something just immediately appeared in your space. And I'm wondering if this is like the alien, because they're supposed to be interdimensional beings, if their ship is suddenly coming into this dimension, like they store it in multiple dimensions, which would be kind of cool, which maybe is outside of the realm of this movie.
Do you think Earth has like lower storage fees? So he said they store
maybe.
it here.
No, I think they store it outside of Earth. I think
Oh, you think they store it outside of Earth?
they just
Maybe
store
they
their
don't.
junk here because that's like it's apparently the junk room because that's going to get demolished in a few minutes.
So they're essentially living in, like, a storage unit somewhere
Yeah,
Yeah.
with all their stuff that they've collected.
but do we know they collected it?
Well, what if the Ooga collected
I don't know.
it?
Yeah. What if they're like the greatest world
See, that's giving
travelers?
them a lot of credit. I don't know.
Well,
That's
now
how they
the
get around and how they bring
Ooga
stuff
built
back
it.
and-
So did the Ooga build it? And
They decided, hey, maybe they like these.
did the
You know,
Ooga build it and then the aliens came? Because they kind of talk about that like the Nazca lines. It's like land here. You know what I mean?
that would have been an interesting use of the Nazca lines, which this movie does not have.
Right.
Because I get the sense that when Indy was saying that, I got the sense that they built it for these aliens after they showed up or something.
So the aliens showed up first, and they're like, "This sucks. There's nothing here." And they're like, "Wait. Hang on.
Yeah, I guess so.
We'll build
We'll be your
build
friends.
something." And then they
Yeah.
built a nice walk-in closet where the aliens could store.
It's like when the Olympics come to town and you go nuts and you redosign your entire city to accommodate the Olympics.
And then it gets all trashed. Like the
yeah,
next week.
exactly. Just like this. This is what we're witnessing right now.
doesn't pay off. Let me ask Orange B. Cooper, what's happening? Just,
You expressed off
don't
the air
know.
some frustration with this minute,
yes.
and
Let's put
I'd like
it
you
on.
to
Let's
explain
Jerry,
yourself.
that's
put
one
it
of the
on
meanest
the air.
things
Clear
you've
right
ever
now.
asked somebody. Like,
What's happening?
Yeah.
Let's put it on
explain the
air.
meaning of the
Yeah.
universe in
Who
3
are
sentences.
we? What is time?
Why is time?
Like looking back, when I saw this in like the Tiffin Cinemark in 2008, I was like, this makes sense. I don't love it, but it makes sense. But coming back now and just looking at this minute, it hurt my feelings and it's diminished my self-esteem, as I said.
Oh God! Wow.
Because I don't understand any of this. Did the Ooga build like this fun little carousel for the aliens to entertain them? Did they do this before or after the one lost its head? Is this the spaceship? Is it part
Well,
of the
okay.
spaceship?
Yeah,
did we-
I have
These
no
are really
idea.
good questions.
How
and-
did we get to the head being lost? Orange B. Cooper, do you think that that Oriana decapitated the alien?
Does the cat keep looking up every time Jerry says that? Does your cat look up and go, what? Trying to nap.
Did what was it decapitated and okay, is Indy or is Ox, are they doing the aliens a favor here? And if they are, do the aliens know that Indy and Ox are not the same as Spalco and Mac? Like, does the alien have a morality meter?
I mean, my question basically was, so maybe did the aliens just find these, not the aliens, I'm sorry, did the Uga just find these, skeletons, and one had its head missing, so they built something, the lovely little shelter for them, and protected it in hopes of, I don't know, maybe someday someone would bring that skull keyfob back or whatever.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
I love that.
I do.
But
That is kind of nice.
But now the Uga have been there for at least 4,000 years, and Oriana was there 500 years ago, 400 or 500 years ago. So the Uga this temple has been there, I guess, in relative peace for 3,500 years, 4,000 years. The Uga and the aliens had a relationship. What were they doing before Oriana came?
see, here's what infuriates me though. Like as Sasha was saying, the Uga are all dead, and it seems like if the interdimensional beings were to say you can have any gift you want, wouldn't a nice gift have been to like protect the people that cared for them all these years?
Yeah. But who's going to wish for that, Pete? Spalco? Oxley? I don't know. Indiana Jones? It is weird. It feels everything sort of points to the Uga and the aliens having some kind of back and forth
Symbiotic
relationship.
Yeah.
Whether it's symbiotic or not, I don't know. But it's like they had to have. You get the impression that the aliens, taught them how to read and write and build massive things and stuff and build totally nonsensical temples that don't make sense and you can't get back into them and stuff. But they also must have said, okay, yes, build us this beautiful throne room kind of thing, but it's got to be on like a gimbal or something. It's got to have these rotating, it's got to allow for these rotating walls, because when we go back to our dimension, it's going to get really nuts really quick, and it's got to, it's got to accommodate that.
Wait,
Gotta
Orange
have
B.
space
Cooper,
for all of our stuff.
Orange
Yeah.
B. Cooper, do you know what a gimbal is?
No idea.
I don't either. It just sounded like the kind of word that people throw into like a moving thing.
They always talk about it like on the Apollo missions, and I never know quite what it is.
Yeah.
Jim O'Kane is screaming at his phone right
Yeah.
I know. I'm
a
sorry,
gimbal.
Jim. Gimbals was the department store that was not Macy's.
Do you notice in this minute, like everybody turns in unison?
Mm-hmm.
No matter where they're looking, like the minute begins, like the two Russian guys look sort of in unison, and then everybody, they show like a backup shot with the entire crew, and they all look one direction in unison, and they keep doing it throughout the minute.
Well, that makes me like the movie better because they seem like cats.
Did you watch this minute with Orange B. Cooper,
I
Blair?
did.
Okay.
Yes.
Did he respond to that? I'm sorry.
I mean, she's an old lady now. She's pretty much unfazed. She's seen it all, really.
Yeah.
My concern was, why are they all so calm? I mean, aside from
They
that,
are really calm.
they're so
Yeah.
chill.
Yeah.
There's a shot of like Indy and Marion kind of drift towards each other, and she kind of puts her hand in his arm a little bit, and it's like they're taking a stroll in the park or something. There's like Mac is the only one who kind of makes sense. Like, why doesn't everybody bolt out of there if they're all so freaked out?
Especially when you see a rapidly closing door.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. Mac leaves. And it's very interesting. Why? Why does he leave?
Well,
Because the entire place is falling down around his head. He's gonna get hurt.
So and everybody else is fine with it. So at this point, Mac's idea in this minute, we see him run out a closing door, and then he's about to run and escape up the stairs all the way back into the jungle.
Suddenly, he completely forgot who his character was at this point because he was so scared.
Right.
Yeah, and he stops, and he admires like a gold necklace that's on a Buddha, and then
he stops earlier. Like
Yeah.
he runs, and he's almost out of the room, and he's like, "Oh wait, I forgot, I'm greedy." And then he runs back
Yeah.
and finds
Right.
that necklace.
Yes. He's like,
And he goes specifically to that necklace,
yeah.
which is across the room from.
It's
where
on
he
like a
stops
Thai
and-
statue, like a Thai
Yeah.
style
Yeah.
statue.
Let me ask, Orange B. Cooper, is it possible to have a necklace? This drives me bananas. The necklace has no clasp. He pulls it. He pulls the necklace towards him, and it just comes off. And I'm like, okay, A, is that how ancient necklaces were? Or B, does the necklace stay there under its own weight naturally because it's gold? Or C, was that just some nonsense for the movie so he wouldn't have to reach around the Buddha and unclasp it and then run? He just
Or
yanks.
D, magnets.
Oh,
Magnets.
maybe it's like a
Yeah.
Forever 21 thing.
I assume that it was kind of like a collar, like you would see on maybe
Oh.
like in Egyptians. However, it is. My question was, it's so ugly. He just ran past all of these like bowls of coins.
That's right.
Just stuff some doubloons in your pocket and get out of
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
So his whole, I mean, right now we see, because they really make a show of it. You're like, so in Mac's mind, he's like, all these people are gonna be dead, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be in the rainforest with at least one damn good piece that I can sell, and I'm not gonna have. It's not gonna be like, hundreds of them, Jonesy. They're all gonna be fighting over this stash. It's gonna be like, well, I might be able to sell this, I don't know, to like the Getty Villa or something like that. You know what I mean? He's like, at least this will pay for my airline ticket down here.
But if you notice, he's already wearing a necklace from the room.
I thought we saw him like checking
Yeah.
out something earlier.
Yeah.
And maybe he just put that on. Maybe we even saw him put it on. I'm not sure.
Maybe he's just got a necklace thing, like a necklace fetish.
Maybe.
Maybe that's why he's in debt. He's got bills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His jewelry collection. It makes sense now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. This is like the first, the nicest stuff he's ever found, and it's basically free. So you can't just give that up. You can't pass up that opportunity.
Do you think that's like a little bit of a Han Solo reference? Like he's got a bounty on him?
He kind of does, doesn't he? I mean, like his whole thing was
Yeah.
that he kept losing at cards or whatever. He was
Yeah.
sick of losing at cards, and so you kind of do feel like maybe he owes people some money,
And then how does
or he's just like a
how does-
sad sack, and he's out of
Wait, so
Han-
you're saying that Mac is the Han Solo of this movie?
Well, Han Solo, I mean, maybe he's Lando. Lando loses the Millennium Falcon in a card game, right?
And Lando's cape does not have a clasp, so it's like this necklace.
And
And
he's
to-
friends with Han. He's friends
And to
with...
bring it back to Orange B. Cooper, my two cats are named Han Solo and Lando, and that's the name
There
they
you
came
go.
with from the SPCA.
Wow.
Beautiful.
That's when
It's
you.
all
That's when
full
we knew it was.
circle.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's poetry.
Like the lazy Susan that the aliens are spinning on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Huh. Do you
You
do
might
any...
be. You might be too young for this, Orange B. But do you guys remember the sit and spin?
Oh,
Oh, of
Oh,
course.
Oh,
yeah.
you- yeah.
Hell yeah. Never had one, but I
No, I
stated...
never wanted one.
I
It was the dumbest toy of all time.
Yeah. How can I make myself barfy the fastest?
Well, you always go to a kid's birthday party, and it like you would eat a bunch of cake, and then everyone would ride the sit and
Tough these kids
spin.
with cake.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
I thought it was kind of brilliant.
no.
I mean, it's fun if you're the kid,
Yeah.
but I'm assuming if you're the parent cleaning up afterwards, it's not.
I don't know if you're the kid. I don't know. I remember my friend across the street had it, and I tried it, and I was like, "This is the worst thing I've ever." I'm just a kid, and I'm no marketing expert. But why would you expect kids to buy this? And I guess they did, but I guess they stopped.
If I'm sitting, why do
They're
I
not
want to
around anymore.
spin?
I know. Yeah.
What do you do, Orange B. Cooper? What do you do for fun?
Spins.
Do you do anything fun? What are we supposed to do? Talk about this minute? What's fun for you?
I am a dedicated cat lady, and in my real life, I am a professional adult babysitter.
Oh,
Oh wow.
I am an HR lady as well as
Fun.
a cat lady. So,
Okay.
Oh, excellent. Okay.
yeah, just judging adults all day long, and then I come home and I get judged by cats.
Oh wow.
Do
Oh
wait,
my gosh.
you said you work in HR?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is that
Oh,
fun
we
or is
coulda
it? Go ahead, Pete.
I was gonna say we could have used you on some recent Patreon episodes where we're
Yes,
trying to
it's
figure
true.
out how Han Solo is talking to his boss Leia.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of
Yeah,
insubordination
let me
going
let's
on.
listen.
Yeah, and
So
there's a lot of-
say
Ice World of Hoth.
say Pete Mummert gets referred to you, and they say, "Okay, what's the problem? I hear you're sent up here," and somebody complained and said at the workplace, "You could use a good kiss." What is the HR?
What form is that?
Response-
What
yeah.
form do you reach
Yeah.
for
Yeah, what
on your thing?
the 10D55
Yeah, which stamp do you
kick
get?
out?
I mean, honestly, Pete, you're probably going to have to do some training. Probably going to have to click
Okay.
through some videos. Yeah, we're going to discuss how there are certain things that we don't say at work. Although, yeah, that's not even the weirdest thing I've ever heard. So.
Okay, well, what's the weirdest thing you've ever heard?
Name names.
Yeah, no.
They're not listening. It's
Let's
okay.
hear it. I love it.
Allegedly,
we
one of my first HR jobs, and I would respond to unemployment claims. We had fired someone who was an instructor in a CPR class, and he was fired for doing inappropriate things to a CPR dummy in front of the class.
In a way, I was hoping you were going to say that. It was better than many of the alternatives,
Yeah,
but it's still
yeah.
horrifying.
And his argument in fun employment court was, well, they never told me I couldn't.
Show me on the dummy
Yeah,
where it
he has
says
a
not to do that.
Now this is it's okay. You sweep sweep the throat, make sure it's not obstructed.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then they never told me not to sweep the anus.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
God.
if he's like, yeah, he took that a little bit dark, Jerry.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know. I just
The thing stops at the waist, doesn't it?
I'm not at work.
But
Like, hasn't left his place in a while.
does he have a point, Orange B? Like if he says, "Show me in the HR manual where it says I can't do that."
I mean, kind of, but this is Texas. So, like,
Oh, okay.
there are no
Okay.
rules.
Oh,
You
we
can get
got
fired for
it.
anything.
I mean, his defense could be, well, that you don't know that wouldn't happen in an emergency situation.
Yeah, it's a real Hallmark movie. They fell in love right there.
Wow.
Interesting. Wow. Well, wow. Has HR changed a lot? I mean, you say like, oh, this is Texas, you get fired for anything. So has the culture of HR, you think, changed however long you've been in it? Have you noticed some changes and shifts?
I mean, one thing I found really interesting is just the divide between people who really want to be back in their offices versus people who are very happy staying home. And
Interesting.
some people just really need to be at work, irritating
Yeah.
other people in person. It's not the same on Teams.
Yeah, you can't
Yeah.
offend anybody at home.
No.
You
I mean,
don't get that
can.
immediate feedback.
I
with,
beg to differ with that, Gerald.
You gonna offend Orange B. Cooper, the cat? They don't care. They're
She
sitting
has
there-
no shame.
No.
But she doesn't have a job.
Oh, good.
So,
No, offending is pretty easy on Zoom too.
Sure,
That's true.
Sure.
I'm offended right now. Having a hard time. I do have one more thing to say about this minute.
Sure.
If
I
we
do
can.
too.
I mean, I Okay. Oh, yeah. Mutt, right now of all times, says, "What are they, spacemen?" And why does he pick right now to raise that? He's been standing around these obviously alien-looking skeletons for about half an hour now.
I feel like that's like, the Elvis Presley hound dog or, saying Daddy-O or something like that. I feel like that is what you would call aliens in 1957. Spacemen.
But why is he picking right now to ask? Why is that just occurring to him now?
Because
I actually know the answer, but I want to.
Oh.
I'm pulling the group.
I think that's just. I think that was a way to keep it like, oh, remember, it's 1957. They call them
guess
spacemen, like Martians, men from
Right.
Yeah, I
Mars.
agree with
Green men.
that, but I also agree with Tom. Like, why is it happening at this point,
Yeah.
rather
Jerry's
than
dodging the question. I
the
don't
30
like it.
minutes that we've been going
No,
through. where
I
he's been
think
seeing
I think
spacemen.
it's pointless other than to show. Well, other than to show that no, they're not spacemen; they're interdimensional beings.
I think that's it. He's just
That is it, yeah.
This happens over and over and over again in this movie, where the only reason somebody says something is so that the next person can say what they need to say.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's very annoying.
but the next thing that's said that needs to be said, we get the Tom Taylor line. Do it, Tommy.
do?
Do it.
Interdimensional beings.
Oh no, I was
what
thinking
back.
of the "Welcome back, Ox." But yeah, you're right. But Oxley says interdimensional beings. and
Welcome
front of
back.
And how much better would this movie have been if we didn't have Mac, but we had this guy the whole movie?
Oh my God. That was
suave,
my thought exactly.
debonair, like erudite Oxley.
He could be nuts. He could be nuts and affected by the skull, but still be this guy.
Yeah.
That would have been great.
Yeah.
So what does he say? He says interdimensional
says-
beings. Something I didn't
interdimensional
understand.
In point of
beings,
fact.
In point of fact. Yeah.
Yeah.
In point of fact. Okay.
As if to say, you dummy. You dumb greaser. They're not spacemen. They're interdimensional men.
Does that Orangeby Cooper? Does that change the movie for you? Like, did they? It's like, wow, they're not. I thought they were spacemen, but they're not spacemen. They went one further. They're interdimensional beings. Do you?
I thought I was watching another of them Independence Days, but it turns out I was totally wrong.
Yeah. Do you feel a different way about the movie because they're interdimensional beings?
Honestly, I just feel very confused. I'm not a sci-fi person, unfortunately. So aliens are not all aliens are interdimensional beings, but are all interdimensional beings aliens?
Oh, I think
that's a good
God,
question.
that's a great question. Wait, not
think
all
the second
aliens
would
are
be true.
interdimensional beings.
if you're not from our dimension, you have to be considered alien. And that
Well,
doesn't have to be pejorative. It's
what if
just,
you're from an
you're not
Earth?
from around here.
What if you're from Earth in a different dimension? They could be Earthlings.
I think even still, I think there's been plenty of science fiction about just that. Like if you could meet the Pete Mummert from the other place, and you'd be like, ugh, you're not me.
Yeah, well, you have Tom, and
Oh, that's true. Oh, that's true. Hey,
of
you
the
know what?
podcast
I take
you
it back. The other Pete is actually kind of great. He's a good guy.
he's much better at this.
I wouldn't trade or
podcasting thing
anything,
than I
but
am.
he's
yeah.
So wait a minute, I gotta think
ABCD2.
about. So not all. That was wise. Not all aliens are interdimensional beings, but all interdimensional beings are aliens. Okay, so does that mean
It's like not all cats have hijacked airplanes, but all no wait,
All
but
airplanes
all-
have been hijacked by cats.
That's-
Yeah,
okay,
I don't.
that's
I don't
true,
think I
yeah.
agree with your original premise, Tom.
No.
But Jerry loves it, so we'll let it stand.
Well, okay. So couldn't anyone be an interdimensional being? They just haven't crossed the veil or
That's-
whatever it is.
Yeah,
the
that's not a bad way of.
dimension
Well, I mean,
Well-
that's like saying if you live in Japan and you've never left Japan, then you're a foreigner. But you're not. Like you wouldn't be considered, foreign unless you went somewhere else.
No, but what Jerry seems to be saying is that anybody on Earth could be a tourist to, say, Nepal, even if they've never been there. They just haven't gone there yet.
Yes.
But I'm disagreeing with him and you. I think you have to go to the other place. I think you have to leave the
No, I
place where you
agree.
are not foreign from
I
Yeah.
agree.
or foreign to.
I
Yeah.
agree. Yeah.
Well, okay. Hang on.
We're not getting anywhere. are we?
No, we're not getting anywhere. We're stuck.
I
in
need
this
a diagram, guys.
We do.
We're stuck in this dimension, and it sucks.
Well, would this diagram be like one of those crime things where they've got all this thread on the wall with all the pictures,
Yeah.
or would this diagram be like a nice, AutoCAD thing?
I mean, true
Look at this.
crime is something I can grasp. So I think that
okay.
might be helpful. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Well, question for you, Orangeby Cooper. So this line, "Welcome back, Ox." Is Indy mad at Ox? He delivers it a certain way. What is it? What is his tone? What is he thinking? He throws it out there pretty quickly. Welcome back, Ox.
I mean, to me, there was a little bit of like an undertone of shade. Like, oh, look, finally, someone's joined the program. Welcome back, girl.
Yeah.
Now, can you tell us about the 3 waterfalls without us having to figure out all this
Yeah,
stuff?
exactly.
Oh, this isn't a T.S. Eliot quote? Thanks.
Interesting. Oh, you can express yourself all of a sudden.
So
Good for you.
Yeah, I read it a little bit. That's it. Like he's mildly exasperated. But why is it that Ox has returned now?
That's a good question.
Is it because the head is now reattached on the alien? Literally, is that it? Literally? Is that the Returno that he was so obsessed about, and he lost his mind because an interdimensional being had been decapitated 500 years ago?
Wait, actually, what if Ox was carrying the alien not in the skull, but in his own brain?
No. In a way, maybe he was. As Jer was saying that, I was like, oh, does that mean the skull was deliberately keeping Ox crazy this whole time to drag him back to Akator so he could stick his head back on?
Or if they just weren't able to communicate. Like what we had here was a failure to communicate.
Well, let me...
Right.
Orange Bee, at what point did Ox become crazy? At what point? So he's lived his whole life as a professor. Meanwhile, his entire life, the interdimensional being has been decapitated. That's all he's ever known. So when did he, commune with the alien? When did he lose his mind? I guess when
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I have to backtrack. Was it when he discovered Oriana's tomb?
I'm wondering if it wasn't like the skull was like finally a person that I can take over this person's brain, make him go do this. I'm finally going to go be home. So I'm guessing maybe it was some sort of like weird possession. And now that the alien has fulfilled its one purpose, it's released him and he can be regular boring old Ox again, I guess.
Yeah.
Just like Frodo. Right, Pete? See? Orange Bee Cooper doesn't get it either. Jerry, we're alone. We're alone, you and me.
Thank God.
Oh, yeah.
You and us and hundreds of thousands of diehard fans of Lord of the Rings. So lonely.
It's hard out there for you guys.
Yeah.
It is. We don't have any friends. No one relates to us.
I don't know if that's the book's fault.
Did you like this movie, Orange Bee Cooper?
I mean, honestly, at the time, I really did. But I think I was mostly just kind of riding high on the fact that, like, finally, an Indiana Jones movie that I'm not watching in, like, a school gym on a TV that's got wheeled in. Like, it's big screen. I'm going to have popcorn. It's not just because it's really cold outside and you can't go out for recess.
Yeah.
An Indiana Jones movie for me. And it just happened to be garbage. And it was very...
Now, when did you figure out then that it was? When did I don't want to say that when did you figure out it was garbage, but when did your opinion of it slide?
I think honestly, I went out and I went when it came out for home video or DVD or whatever, and then I rewatched it and I started to kind of think about it. I'm like, there's a lot of dots here that just don't make any sense.
That's where it falls apart when you start to think about it.
Which rainy, cold recess was the best? Was it the Temple of Doom rainy, cold recess, or was it Lost Ark rainy, cold recess? Which? How would you rate these? And what was the first one you saw?
The first one I saw was Temple of Doom, which, looking back, was not really appropriate for a bunch of 8-year-olds.
Yeah, but it's cold out.
We can't send the children outside.
Yeah, you're like, oh my God, that fire looks so warm.
Because I just remember having Kalima, or whomever, pulled the heart out of...
Yeah.
Yeah, I just remember having that seared in my brain.
Oh, yeah, we all did. We all did. It would have been better if we had gotten hypothermia.
Yeah, I mean, could do without some toes, but I'm never getting that brain space back.
Right.
But then I went to the public library and I rented Raiders in Last Crusade, and I loved it. I mean, to me, being 8, Indy was the perfect man. He's handsome. He's smart. He's not going to be around all the time. Perfect.
Sometimes he just jumps out the window just when you need him to, when you need your space.
Excellent timing.
It goes to
Very
office
cool.
hours, doesn't come back, not for like 4 or 5 months. When he
He's very
does,
mysterious.
it's trinkets. It's a few good pieces.
I was just explaining to my son the other day that our school had one of those early, like big, huge, like projection TVs where it was just like a big flat surface, and then if you looked like sort of the thing in front of it, there were like the blue and the red and the green, I guess, like lights that were just flickering there, and that made shows appear on the TV screen. And we had Star Wars. We got to watch Star Wars, like that had just come out on video, and we got to watch that for recess. And the making of Raiders, actually, now that I think about it. That was very cool.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. TVs sucked back then. They were huge and they didn't look that good, but we fooled ourselves into thinking they were great.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's
Yeah.
better than swinging from the tire.
Yeah. Getting hypothermia doing laps.
On the monkey bars or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you go down, I remember the monkey bars in the cold in the winter, and it's like
Ugh.
each bar itself is freezing.
Yeah. And your hand attaches to it.
Yeah, and you swing from one to
Short
the next,
style.
hoping that the next one's warm.
Yeah. And it never is.
No, of
Yeah,
course
that sounds
not. Never
gross.
is.
Do you want a warm monkey bar?
Yeah. What? What's happening?
It's a mixed feeling.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of mixed feelings,
Oh.
Oh.
coming in over the wire from Professor Christy Porter. They make a big deal in this minute of showing Mac return specifically for the necklace. Is that his, end of Last Crusade moment where Indy reaches for the Grail?
Oh.
And who knows what's going to happen to Mac, but is there anyone who takes a moment, indulges their avarice, and winds up okay in the Indiana Jones franchise?
You know what?
I think Indiana Jones does, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's a good
He
point.
seems to come out just fine.
Well,
Yeah.
he loses
He's
the
grubbing up
idol,
stuff all
right?
over the
He
place.
loses the idol, and Belloc gets the idol, and he doesn't wind
Yeah.
up so great.
Well, it depends on what you mean by ends up okay, because Belloc ends up okay for a while. It just
Yeah.
he keeps rolling the dice.
True. So are certain
that-
things like is it okay to steal the Chachapoyan idol? Because it's kind of like either a false idol or it doesn't have the yang that the Ark of the Covenant does. So it's kind of like, maybe the fertility god really does want to. Who knows what happened to Belloc? Maybe he got castrated or something. I don't know. I mean, he doesn't consummate
by the
much in
Havitos?
by the
idol?
by the Chachapoyan idol. He doesn't
Oh,
really
okay.
consummate much in that tent.
Well, see, now
That's
I'm thinking
true.
about that Love Boat
He does not
episode where
seal the deal.
those people had, like, everyone was trying to get pregnant and they had that idol, that fertility idol.
Yeah.
Wait, on the Love Boat?
Yeah. Wasn't
Really?
there ever an episode of the Love Boat like that?
God, I mean, probably, but I wish I have Eric Drysdale back on. Remember, he watched the entire thing.
Oh, that's right.
It's one
That's
of those. Yeah, you can't talk about the Love Boat. You're gonna get sent to HR.
Okay, you're right.
I know,
But
really.
Christy's
Getting
question
pregnant on TV, forget it.
makes me wonder, could you make a movie from Mac's point of view based on this movie that's fantastic? Like that you have the actual scenes from this movie,
Yeah.
but then you could write a bunch of like really nice stuff in between and make him a really interesting character.
Kind of like Grendel.
He's
who
this
that is.
brave.
Oh,
That was like,
the,
was
the,
it a-
the
that was a
famous
novel,
the
right?
novel
Based on-
Grendel, based on like it was Beowulf's.
From the
Oh,
monster's
okay,
point of
okay.
view, yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, like Mac is like a super spy. He's like a triple agent. He's keeping tabs on both the Russians and this upstart American archaeologist. And somehow he's the only one with the right idea about stuff, and he steals a necklace. And
Well,
he's
does
going to
it-
be all right.
Does that Orange B. Cooper? Does anybody keep anything from any of these movies other than a few good pieces that go to the museum that Marcus has? And Marcus winds up like with a decapitated statue or whatever. Maybe he kept those few good pieces.
Well, I mean, Indy Henry and Henry Sr. end up with like a loving, understanding relationship.
Oh,
So-
wow.
That is true.
That got deep. Yeah.
Wow,
Nice.
that's a great answer. Great answer.
Yeah.
And I know they're just supporting characters, but in Temple of Doom, those villagers get their stone back.
Yeah.
They
What's
keep it.
interesting about that, I was thinking about
They're not
that.
Americans, Jerry. Sorry if they don't count as like people who get to have stuff.
But why are they entitled to it? Because they keep it.
Well, it was theirs to begin with.
It was theirs.
It was theirs to begin
Get
with.
off.
Like, since time immemorial, or did they steal it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Why'd they have to steal it? Wasn't it like a gift from
I think it was a
Shiva
gift.
or
It was a
something? Didn't
gift.
fall
I think
out
it
of
was
the
a
sky or
gift,
something?
It was a gift
Yeah.
from Shiva. Yeah. No, that counts. That counts.
But it seems like suddenly the meaning of all of these movies is just always return everything that's been stolen to the rightful owner.
Yeah.
So like the British
Yeah.
Museum should just go nuts.
Oh, yeah.
Like, okay, this is going back to Greece. This is going back to Turkey. This is going back to wherever. Yeah.
All this adventuring should not have happened.
Well,
that's
you
the
know
message
what?
of every Indiana Jones
Let's
movie.
see what happens to the British Museum.
Maybe that's Indy 5. He just raids
Yeah.
the British Museum and just spends the entire movie returning everything.
In the end, nothing belongs in a museum.
Yeah.
Right.
Whoa!
He's come full circle. It does not belong in a museum.
Yeah.
It belongs right in the dirt where you found it. Yeah. I have to ask, what is that bottle behind you, Jerry? Is that like a moisturizing cream or something?
Oh.
Is that like a it's in like a tube?
Mood.
Like a God, what mood?
Mood.
What is
yeah,
it?
it's if you're tense, if you're stressed,
Oh.
no, you're soothed.
Yeah.
Moisturizing
Oh.
cream, yeah. And I'll tell you something funny.
It's not working, is it?
I made my
You're a mess.
no, I'm
You're
a
a wreck.
disaster. Such a disaster that I made like a carrot, ginger, spinach, beet juice with heavy beet today, and
Oh,
the
you had me
Vitamix.
until beets.
Yeah, well, I put it down in the sink. It was in a big pitcher, like 64 ounces. I put it down, and the pitcher smashed and crashed,
Oh.
and beets, like the beet juice spilled everywhere.
Oh, no.
And I was like, well, there goes the security deposit in this apartment.
Did your mom walk in right then and she just sees this bright red fluid everywhere and like broken
Yeah.
glass?
Broken
and she's
glass.
like, oh,
It
my,
looked, I
my
almost,
boy.
I almost took a picture of it. It really did.
Yeah.
It looked like something on Nightmare on Elm Street.
Just tell me to just put one of the cats down the disposal.
Remember,
or something.
we always
That's
wanted-
terrible.
Tommy, in Nightmare on Elm Street, Orange B. Cooper, did you see Nightmare on Elm Street 3?
No.
Okay.
Oh, 3.
Well,
Yeah.
or maybe no, was it 2? What's
Dream
the,
Warriors.
What's the one where the
Oh, no.
boyfriend gets sucked into the bed?
That's 1. That's the
Oh,
that's
it's
Johnny Depp.
1.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and you're like, the font of blood that spills out is much
Yeah.
more than one human being could
Yeah,
ever.
it's plenty.
Yeah. Where did they get all the blood?
Like in the movie, you mean?
Not in making
Like,
the movie.
where did
they
Freddy
probably
get it,
bought
or-
it. Where did Freddy
he was
get it?
probably an interdimensional being. There was blood from
Yeah, oh,
several
yeah.
dimensions.
Yeah, the you don't notice the bed spinning around crazily before he gets sucked into it. But that's what yeah. And in the other dimension, you see Freddy killing a bunch of pigs and draining them and stuff, kind of Carrie style, and yeah, then that's what comes out.
That's what comes
It's
out.
like a whole big
And that
show.
explains cattle mutilations in our dimension.
Yeah, it's all perfectly normal. I feel like we should probably end this.
I feel a lot better
Way
about
off
a lot
the
of
rails.
things.
Oh, good. No, man. All right,
Yeah.
we should keep going then. All right. What's next? Well, Orange B. Cooper, do you have any other thoughts or ideas or notions that you want to get off your chest about this movie, or Indiana Jones, or Jer fruitlessly trying to soothe his mood with some kind of topical cream?
Topical mood cream.
Yeah. Good luck.
Hey, it's almost empty. I kept trying.
So what you're saying is it could be worse. So this is you.
Oh,
like, yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
See? Bright side.
Yeah. We'll take what we get.
Yeah.
Well, no, I don't really have anything to add. Just thank you guys so much for having me on. It was really fun to kind of see how the sausage is made. But I would like to
Is
ask.
that what this is?
Yes, yes. If y'all wouldn't help me peer pressure my boyfriend into watching Crystal Skull with me, because I told him I was going to be a minute internet celebrity, and he would not even watch this movie.
Really?
Wow.
He did not back you up and help you out.
No.
You had to watch this movie to be on a. Really? I don't. Okay. What's his name?
His name is Andrew.
Andrew?
Soon to be ex-boyfriend Andrew.
Andrew, your girlfriend and her cat have gone through a lot to, listen to and enjoy and support this show. And I think the least you can do is listen to and appreciate and support Blair, and at least for the 2 hours that it takes to watch Crystal Skull. And probably beyond that, I mean...
I don't underestimate trauma bonding.
That's right. Yes, it's going to bring you closer together. You will have gone through something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I didn't like Pete and Jerry at all before we started this, and
No,
now
he still doesn't.
I want to stab them in the throats, but we're bonded.
Yes.
We've been through something together.
And Andrew, imagine your dream of appearing on, like cable access TV. Wouldn't you want someone to support that?
Yeah, come on.
Channel 11,313.
3 a.m.
Yeah.
Dreams do come true, and I'm here to prove it. So.
See? Well, thank you for joining us,
Yeah,
Blair.
thank you so much, Blair.
Please thank the actual Orange B. Cooper for ponying up and supporting the show. Anybody out there, if you want to support the show that you're enjoying right now, you can head over to patreon.com/Indiana Jones Minute. And we've got various tiers of support you can do over there. You can get early access to this show. You can get our bonus show, Anything Goes, where we are currently, as of this recording, talking about The Empire Strikes Back for months and months. And you can get postcards from the three of us, or at least two of us.
Talk about, tiers of
Pete.
the show.
Yeah.
The tiers of the show are that you get nothing from Pete. That's the bitterest tier. But join us over there. Join us back here also on Monday for minute 109 of Crystal Skull here on the Indiana Jones Minute.
Do it, Orange B. Cooper, do it!
Give us a Jones.
Jones!
Hey,
There we go.
Jones!
Jones!
Jones?
Did Orange B. Cooper jump when you did that? Is she easily startled?
Yes, she's looking at me right now.
Oh, okay.
She is
Tell her
very
we said
bothered.
hi.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's fantastic.
I will.
All right.
Most definitely.
Thank you.